Well, Sunshine Buckaroos, how the heck are you? I thought I put together two digestives. Meant to come on a little earlier, but took me a while to get things going here. All right, I think I'm going here. There we go. Let me put this down here somewhere. So I just fixed two cocktails. So those of you that know me kind of know that I don't like to do things like everybody else. So I did this kind of a mocha inspired cocktail using RockTown Cask Rye, the RockTown coffee liqueur, and the creme de cacao with some a couple of dashes of cocoa bitters. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's become commonplace. Every espresso, whatever you get, has these three little triangle coffee beans. I don't know, just seems a little rather formulaic to me, and I don't like to be like everybody else. So I don't know if you can see that there, but I made a happy face. And every time you see me do a espresso martini inspired cocktail, by golly, it's going to be a happy face of it. I'm no longer doing the three coffee beans because I refuse to be like everybody else. Oh, that's delicious. I refuse to follow the status quo, damn it. Especially the way things are at this moment in time in our society. Wow, that's delicious. That really is. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do an espresso martini, but I didn't want to use gin or vodka, which is most commonplace in espresso martini is vodka. I want to do a whiskey cocktail. I want to do more of a Manhattan, using the Manhattan. I didn't want to say Manhattan inspired, but using the Manhattan as a template. So I used 2 ounces of the rye. Let me show you this rye here. This rye is just so insanely good. Is there single barrel cask Arkansas straight rye whiskey is what I used here. So I used 2 ounces of that, and I used half ounce of their coffee liqueur, and then a half ounce of the creme de cacao, and just a couple dashes of some cocoa bitters. And instead of using the three, coffee beans or espresso beans that has become commonplace, I made a happy face. If you ever order a cocktail from me or an espresso, whatever, it's going to come with a happy face, by golly. I'm not going to use, I will no, I refuse to be like everybody else. I will not be one of the status quo, damn it. Uh, but now my happy face has kind of gone all out of kilter now. It only stays for a second. It only stays for a minute there, but it's just the idea, right? Anytime I'm just waiting for the next time I can make an espresso martini for somebody at work, though, so I can just do the happy face thing on there. I'll be the only one. That'll be my signature. If you get a cocktail from the Whiskey Whisperer, it's going to have a happy face on it, by golly. Anyways, I digress. Oh, that's delicious. So it really is. Wow. Their coffee liqueur is crazy good, but their creme de cacao is probably the best I've ever had as well. It is just incredible. So combining the coffee with that creme de cacao, you get that mocha feeling going on. I actually use I have the little drops you use, and in the past I've also used a carton of pasteurized eggs. But my wife was doing some baking. It actually had a separated egg white, so I actually used an egg white to make the foam here. And I'll be honest, you can tell a difference. At work, we tend to use the drops. Some folks don't want the egg whites. But you can't tell the difference. The egg whites do make a much better foam. There's no doubt about it. I just don't have the patience to separate eggs, so I wait till my wife my wife does it when she's baking. Then I'll use that one. But in the past, I have bought the small carton of the pasteurized egg whites, so I know what I'm using and how much I'm using. But it does make a much better foam. The issue with the drops work nicely, but they do dissipate quicker. All right, so cocktail number 2, I use the Angels Envy finished rye. This is a rye whiskey finished in Caribbean rum casks. And it is at 100 proof even. Let me show you that bottle. Angels Envy stuff is good. Very good. I don't know that the good always is in line with the price point, but the product is good. The reason why I don't buy a lot of commercial products is, again, I look at the price of what that costs, and I look at everything else that's available to me. And so, keeping that in mind, let's just use $60. If I've got $60 to spend on a rye, well, then I look at the RockTown, which is about the same price, right? I just feel like there's so many good small craft distillery products out there. If I've got that much to spend, I'm going to look in that direction first before I go mainstream. But I also know that I'm one of the few that really cares about such things. Oh, that's nice. So with this particular cocktail, what I was channeling is a maple old fashioned. Well, Tom, you got it served in a coupe. Yes, because I don't like ice. but traditionally, an old fashioned was served this way. So the ice cube, a lot of folks don't realize that's a nouveau thing, man. So yeah, here's what I got here. I got 2 ounces of the rye. I've got 1 ounce of barrel aged maple syrup, and then I've got a couple dashes of some black walnut bitters. And I use the cinnamon stick as a garnish, as you can see. And what we have is just a very nice, easy drinking cocktail. If I have an issue with Angels Envy, is that it's just not remarkable, right? It's good. It's very good. But I don't know that there's anything about it that really stands out, right? Like the RockTown, for instance. I could, that one really stands out to me, the flavor profile. Angels Envy, everything about it's good. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Oh man, that's delicious. This is a very nice dessert cocktail, right? At the end of the evening, that digestive, that fireplace cocktail, if you will. See, I've got the fireplace in the background. See what I did there? See what I did there, man? Oh, mercy. I had dinner, so we took a little break for a while. I meant to come on here about 8 or 9, but kind of got hung up getting everything together. And I only bought the Angels Envy, in all honesty, because my wife found these glasses. I got these 2 Angels Envy glasses at a thrift store. So, well, now I have to buy the whiskey to go with the glass. They look like tasting glasses. I'm guessing. Don't know that to be a fact, but they appear to be tasting room glasses. So, anyways, I digress. Bottom line, cocktails should be fun. They shouldn't be. That's where I'm looking for. You shouldn't. They should be fun. You should enjoy making them, right? The cocktail police aren't going to show up at your door. A lot of folks want to say, well, you got to do this and that. You got to follow this rule and that rule. You don't have to do a goddamn thing. Make the cocktail any way you want to. For me, I use the Manhattan pretty much as a template for everything I do. I rarely go over 4 ingredients. Most of my cocktails are 3 ingredients. Because I feel like if you're using more than that, you're trying way too hard. And that's my deal with a lot of nouveau bartenders. I feel like everybody has to add 100 ingredients to make something. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to stand down 1 foot, pray to the sun god, yeah, uh, infuse this, mash that. You don't need to do all that nonsense. I taste a lot of cocktails and say, well, this is good. But you've got like 12 steps here. And I feel like you can get to that flavor process using 6. I do. I feel like a lot of folks are just making things overly complicated for the sake of making them complicated. Did I taste that cocktail? So I like what you did here. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm not understanding the point of why you went through all that. The process doesn't make sense to me, and a lot of that could be age and generational, right? My generation grew up a very specific way. As the younger generation is now growing up the way they're growing up, they want to do things their own way. They kind of want to forget what the past generations have done. But my issue with that is a lot of them, again, I talked about rules earlier. A lot of them want to say, well, you have to use this rule, that rule, this rule. Now, you don't have to use any rules. There are no rules. There are techniques you learn and you can follow, but there aren't any rules. Make the cocktails any way you want to. Make the cocktails fun. Enjoy making the cocktail, but more importantly than that, enjoy drinking them. Enjoy sharing them with your friends. That's what I love to do. When I come up with a new idea, I want to share with everybody I know. Yeah. And that's kind of the issue is that I have done that, and I've had a few ideas stolen. And sometimes from unlikely places, right? You talk to somebody and say, oh, next thing you know, they're stealing your idea. They change this or they add this. Oh, I didn't take your idea, huh? Yeah, you lying bastard. Anyways, and so I'm trying to learn to not, but the truth is I don't have that ability. I'm one of those guys that overshare everything. I will always tell you everything I know. Because I do believe that things should be shared. A lot of folks want that glory. I did this. No, no, you didn't. You stole that idea from this person. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all right, good guys, Slotch. Thanks for tuning in.